people are too quick to make excuses. I didn't have any money, but I decided to be a lender. Discipline is when you do what you need to do anyway, even if you're not motivated or it's not convenient. Doing something that's a little scary, as long as you have some guidance and you do your due diligence and get some education about it. But courage.
Yeah.
Just have to have the courage to act.
I'm here with my new friend, Chuck Glover. I had heard your story online. Just such a powerful story. I think that, I think a lot of people need to hear. So we're here at Dealmaker Orlando, January 2025. And I think you've got a really powerful story that resonates with a lot of people because we all tend to make, excuses. I'm too young. I don't know anybody. I don't have credibility. And this is too late, right? So if you can just share real quickly your story on who you are, how long you've been in the business, how you got started, and, we'll transition into some of the stuff that, you talked about briefly yesterday. So,
Okay. Well, my name is Chuck Glover. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I've been investing for about 5 years. It's kind of funny because I was mentioning to someone the other day, I've been investing, I said something like since 70, and they thought, wow, you've been investing for like 53 years. And I said, no, not 1970, age 70. I'm 76 now, so I've been investing about 5 years. I'm a private money lender, so that's how I got started off in investing. So
just 5 years, and so you started at 7 years old, wanting to get into lending. So I'm assuming, or people may be assuming, since you were 7 years old, you started, I'm going to be a lender, that you had hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to lend.
that's what people think. In fact, there was a point in time when I was thinking maybe a similar kind of a thing. Prior to age 70, 5 years ago, I knew nothing about real estate. I'm not a realtor. I've never been a realtor. I have no association with real estate investing, except my first exposure to real estate investing was several years ago. I was, let's say, down on my luck. My finances were in pretty bad shape. And an investor came to buy my house, which was going into foreclosure. That's the kind of shape I was in financially several years ago. And so I sold my house to a real estate investor. That's my first exposure to investing. But anyway, so I had hardly anything. And there's a long story there, but to kind of cut to the chase, I found out about real estate investing, decided to give it a shot.
You went to Robert Kiyosaki event, right?
Went to Robert Kiyosaki. Well, I read the book, Cash Flow Quadrant. And I didn't know who he was until I read that book. And it was a book that it was a transformational book. I said, maybe this is something I can do to get out of this situation. So I pursued that. 2 weeks later, there was a Robert Kiyosaki event right there in my hometown, not far from my house. I went to it free. And now it was an upsell. They wanted you to buy a course, but I went to the free part. Then they said, attend the Real Estate Investor Association meetings in your area. And I did that and met a couple people. Lots of wholesalers, lots of flippers, lots of buy and hold investors. But there was only one, of all the people in the room, 60 or 70, there was only one lender. And I thought to myself that night, maybe that's what I should do with less competition. But I didn't have any money.
No.
Couple months later, I went to another meeting and heard a speaker, Dorsey Bodiford Cooney was her name, and she's from Georgia, and she was in Virginia, and I don't know if she's ever been there before or even if she's ever been back since, but she was there that night, and she talked about wrap lending, which is a specific strategy, a specific technique of how to leverage money.
Right.
And so I saw that that's what I could do, because the idea is if you have a little bit of money, you can make a big loan by having someone else with a lot of money come into the loan with you. You can partner lend. And she explained how it all works. There's a bit to it.
Right.
And I thought, I have a little bit of money, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's how I got started. At that time, I was pretty much a lot of debt. $80,000 credit card debt. We were paying $500 a month in interest on credit card.
Yeah.
But then since then, now I'm financially free and I get to travel all over the world, as a matter of fact. And supporting Share the Love, which is a charity that catches my heart. and now I get to support that charity and travel and volunteer with that charity all over the world.
That's just an amazing story. So many things that you said there. There's a few things that I want to touch on. Number one being, a lot of us tend to do things that everybody else is doing, right? Oh, get into wholesaling, right? Oh, let's go wholesale. Let's go fix and flip. Let's go buy rentals. But you decided I'm going to be the opposite of what everybody else, and I want to do lending, right? There was only one person in the entire room of 60, 70 people. So that's pretty incredible to do the opposite of what most people are doing in the business. And then the other thing is, you don't need a whole lot to get started. And when you say you need a little bit, just to give context to some of the people that may be watching, when you're saying, you can get started with a little bit of money, is that $100,000, $50,000? What does that look like? What was your first deal? Was it,
It'll be varying amounts for varying. It's whatever people have.
Right.
In my case, it was about $5,000, and I was making $150,000 and $200,000 loans to real estate investors who wanted to buy a house to flip or who wanted to buy a rental. And I was lending them money, and I only had $5,000. But on my first loan, I lent out my $5,000. It was coupled with another investor coming in with a larger amount of money to make the loan.
Right.
But on that $5,000, after the loan was finished and paid back, I made $4,500 on my $5,000. So I almost doubled my money. We're using this specific wrap lending technique.
Awesome. So obviously we're not going to be able to share in exactly how to do it. I know you spent a few hours just, touching over the surface, getting an understanding of what that is, but where can people, maybe find out more? Are you teaching?
I teach a class
You teach a
in
class?
basics of wrap lending. And then after the class, I do coaching sessions to actually walk people through a real deal with real money and real properties. But that's the coaching that comes after. And my website is massiveachievement.net.
Massiveachievement.net. So
You can go there and click on workshops, and it'll come up the basics of wrap lending course, which is a 2-hour Zoom class. So it's on Zoom.
okay.
And then after the class, if anybody's interested in the coaching part where you actually dig deep into a deal, then they can let me know and I can send them information on that.
Awesome. So based on your experience on, some of the people that you've coached and people that have approached you and learned from you, what would you say is people's, biggest, in their eyes, barriers or limiting beliefs that they have when they, learn about?
People are too quick to make excuses. I didn't have any money, but I decided to be a lender. It takes work. I don't mean to make it sound like you just put some money out there and it doubles and comes back. There are many hours, many meetings to attend and miles to drive. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Right.
And overcoming the idea of dedication and commitment and discipline. People think, well, I'm not so motivated. Discipline is when you do what you need to do anyway, even if you're not motivated or it's not convenient. Doing something that's a little scary, as long as you have some guidance and you do your due diligence and get some education about it, but courage.
Yeah.
Just have to have the courage to act.
I think that's something that you touched on that, a lot of people don't do. When you first learned about, you read the book, you started taking immediate action, right? You started, I'm going to go to RIAs, I'm going to find out. And the other thing that you said yesterday is you were trying to figure out, how can I do this business? You tried out, maybe wholesaling or whatever. You didn't really like it or didn't want to pursue that. And it took several meetings to find the perfect speaker for exactly what you were looking at. And you said that, right? Be in the room.
And I think, what if that one night, because that's the only time she'd even been in the state of Virginia that I know of. What if that one night I decided, well, I'm a little tired tonight, I'll go next month, or I'll go next week. What if I'd have missed that one night? That it takes one moment to critically impact your entire life.
That one event changed your entire life. And that's why we talk about these events are life-changing. And Jim Rohn talks about this all the time.
Yes.
You don't know which event is going to be the event that's going to change your life. And that's why it's important. And I'm sure that we both have friends that we might have suggested and told and invited to come to an event like this, and they're not here.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
People come and go. But it's the ones you see consistently. In fact, could I share my formula for massive achievement? Of course, with my journey over the past 5 years, I've developed a formula for massive achievement. In fact, I wear it right here on my shirt.
Yeah.
I wear it right here on my shirt.
I see it.
That's the formula. And the formula is leveraging. It's the rap lending is all about leveraging other people's money, and they leverage yours. The formula is leveraging other people's money, other people's resources, other people's knowledge applied. Notice there's a little A there. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge applied is power. Times other people's time and other people's talent. So if you leverage other people,
Right.
you can just massively grow your wealth. Now there's a little E on the end. That little E is minus excuses. You just have to get to the point where no excuses, or you have to eliminate every excuse. That number should be 0. The excuses. And that's what on the back of the shirt it says massive achievement, and that's what it equals.
That's awesome. That's powerful, and I agree 100% wholeheartedly. I really like it all. I definitely like the E at the end is eliminating excuses, because we're all guilty, and I know so many people are guilty of just making excuses of, not having the right resources, time, or whatever. But whenever we have a burning desire to achieve something, we're gonna figure out and find a way. So I know we're getting back to the seminar. I really appreciate you. Your story, and I hope that you continue to have incredible success. I know you've been a blessing to so many people, and it's great to be able to finally meet you, and hopefully we continue to come in contact and create a good friendship over the years. So I'm excited to be here.
We're here to help people grow their wealth.
Thank you.
That's what it's about. So thank you.
Appreciate it.